Welcome to Coaching for Creatives with Kirsten. My name is Kirsten Call. I'm a therapist-trained life coach and a children's book author. Together, we'll get the drama out of our lives and onto the page. Let's get started. You are listening to episode 60. It's not about you, it's about them. As a kid, I used to play the recorder with my family. I know these days most people learn to play the recorder in third grade. At least that's when my kids learned it. But for our family, recorders were different. Did you know there's a sopranino, alto, tenor, bass, and contrabass recorder in addition to the sopranos we learn on in school? In my family, we played all the different sizes, and we played in harmony at all the band concerts. At the time, I didn't realize how strange that was, and maybe it wasn't strange back then. Pretty sure my kids would rather die than play a recorder piece with the family at a band concert. Anyway, I played alto because the fingering mirrors the fingering for clarinet, which was my instrument. My dad played bass, my sister played soprano, etc. Before every performance at the school or at church or in a Shakespeare pit orchestra, yes, I did play in a recorder orchestra for a Shakespeare play one summer. Before every performance, I'd get nervous. And I'd worry about messing it up for myself, for others, ruining the musical experience for everyone involved, or just failing and having people think I'm terrible. These thoughts, of course, didn't serve me. And as I got older and had more things I did in front of people, like teaching workshops or lessons or leading discussions or singing, I still thought things like, what if I mess up? What if I don't do a good enough job? What if I fail? What if people think I'm terrible? And still, of course, none of these thoughts served me. These thoughts just made me more nervous and less likely to do my very best. About 20 years ago, I learned something that helped me immensely. I learned about how the physical symptoms of nervousness actually exactly match the physical symptoms of excitement. Sweaty palms, racing heart, all of it. So when I started to feel nervous, I started renaming it and telling myself, I'm excited, this is going to be fun. That change of perspective helped, but what really made the most difference was when I reminded myself of this truth. It's not about me. It's about them. Let me explain. While I'm playing the recorder, although it's been a while, or teaching or singing, I'm not doing it for myself. I hope something I do or say will motivate someone or inspire them or help someone feel something that will change their outlook or perspective. When I sing for people, it's not about whether I hit the notes perfectly. It's about whether the people who are listening are edified somehow. So it's not about me. It's about them. And when I go into a situation where I'm in front of people and I make it about the people I'm serving, it not only calms my nerves, but it also helps me be better and do better. For example, if this podcast isn't about me, then I don't have to worry about how I tell my stories or if I articulate well. I just have to hope that one of the people that is listening to this podcast feels something or learns something, or that maybe your life is better, if only for 5 minutes, because you chose to listen to this particular podcast. So let's talk about how we can really believe that it's not about you. Number one, remember, it's almost never about you. You know when you were a teenager and it felt like everyone was looking at you, noticing your mistakes or talking about you? What was really happening was that those people were thinking about themselves and their own mistakes and talking about themselves. Number two, it's almost always about them. As humans, we are naturally very self-absorbed. Unless we intentionally look outside of ourselves, we don't think about others. So again, if it feels like people are talking about you or thinking about you, it's unlikely. They're probably thinking about themselves. Number three, we don't exist in a vacuum. Our gifts and talents and abilities aren't for us to feel good about ourselves. In fact, if there weren't other people to benefit from our gifts and talents and abilities, it almost feels like there's no purpose for them. Our gifts and talents and abilities are for other people. We write books for other people to read and enjoy them. We make art for other people. We teach workshops for the benefit of other people. And hopefully we enjoy the journey as we're doing it, but it's mostly for other people. Which leads me to number four. It's all about connection. Life is about connection. Connection with yourself, connection with others, connection with a higher power. I mentioned in an earlier podcast about how my 8th grader recently got a lead in his middle school musical. And he wasn't excited. In fact, he didn't want to do it at all. After further examination, I discovered this stemmed from fear of failure, fear of not being perfect, fear of messing up. When he and I had a conversation about how it's not about him, how this is an opportunity to connect with others, to perhaps make someone laugh, to share his light, it changed his perspective. All of a sudden, this opportunity to be a lead in the play felt like what it actually is, an opportunity to share love, an opportunity to stretch and grow and learn, an opportunity to connect. So, as you go about your life and you feel worried about how your performance in life is perceived, just stop. Delete that thought. Intentionally remember, it's not about you. It's about them. It's about the people in your life. This opens up the possibilities for you making someone else's life better, because it really isn't about you, is it? It's about them. Until next time, keep smiling. If you like what you've heard, check out my Get Yourself Unstuck program. Go to KirstenCall.com. That's KirstineCall.com and schedule a free consultation today. Coaching for Creatives is produced by Kirsten Call. Music and audio engineering by James Call.